have this texture that is covering our text and this circle here. And we have these accents coming off of our text layer here. Now, my guess is that this isn't like a normal font, right, with the accents. I think it's a font, but then it was altered in Illustrator. The paths of the font were basically added here. I'm not going to go over how to do that. That's basically an Illustrator lesson. So I'm going to show you basically how to do this on just like normal text. So I don't have the font that they used, but I can get sort of close to it. So what I'm going to do is just type in, well, first of all, let's make sure that our text is white. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to separate the or from here, okay, because there's basically a different design treatment on it. So I just want to have it on its own layer. So what I'll do is actually just ready, and just quickly I can just add a couple spaces, maybe a little bit more space. I don't know if this is the best way of doing this, but it's definitely a quick way of doing it. So I'm going to do it like this. Now this font I must have gotten from dafont.com. It's just a great website for finding a bunch of fonts, though do note that they are meant for personal use, most of them, if not all of them. So just make sure that when you're checking out these fonts here, you check the notes from the author. Anyway, let's make our circle using a shape layer. To make a shape layer, just make sure that no layers are selected, and you can click and draw, I'll hold shift to make it perfectly circular. And the or is going to be a different font here. Let's see. Something I did notice is the last time I was using this text tool, I changed the vertical on our text, our vertical scaling. So actually all our text has this one, it shouldn't. So I'll just double click my text here, change this to 100. I don't think my font is thick enough, so a quick hack to kind of make your font thicker is to just add a stroke on it with the same color and increase your stroke width. And change the color there. Though technically the color doesn't matter, just like for designing this, I want to just see kind of like what it's supposed to look like. Basically, we have an alpha matte of our entire design here. We need to apply our texture here. So what I have is a grunge texture. So this is part of Andrew Kramer's Action Essentials. You can find it on Video Copilot. I bought this a few years ago and it's definitely come in handy. You can find free textures online if you just Google grunge textures. I can actually move this texture around and it's going to stay within the boundaries of the pixels below it. I'm going to start creating shapes on places that I want to reveal. Okay, because this shape layer is essentially going to act as a track mat for our text. I know I'm going to want to turn off my fill and turn on my stroke. Make it white. Just make it a few pixels for now. And I can start drawing my track mat here. If I want to update the first vertex here, I just have to hold Control and click away to deselect my path. I can also deselect the layer entirely, then select it again, and then I can control my first point here. I think I'll convert it to a Bezier point by holding Alt or Option. Let's increase this a little bit. And we'll keep going here. I'll deselect, then reselect the layer so that none of the paths are selected, and I will just go through and create my custom track mat. You'll notice that if you try to move the first vertex without first deselecting the entire path, it's going to close my path here. Okay, and now I have a closed path, and I don't want that. I want to keep it an open path. So that's why I deselect, reselect, and then go on and select my first vertex here. Okay, so we have a track mat defined. Of course, it's not animated yet. So what we need to do is, like you suggested, use a trim paths. So what we can do is we can actually use one trim paths to affect all of these at the same time, okay, because that's what's happening here. All of these are animating in at the same time. They're not being done, they're not animating in sequentially, right? They're all moving at the same time. So We can add one trim paths here. Selecting contents, I'll add a trim paths, and it'll go to the end of the stack here, which is great because this is going to affect everything above it here. And now I can just set this from 0 to 100. My keyframes are highlighting because Adobe automatically updated After Effects, and I actually didn't even realize that. All we have to do now is move our shape layer above the layer we want to reveal, which in this case is our text layer here. And now we can set this to alpha matte. Alpha inverted matte. We actually need to reverse the movement here. So I think what we can do is we can just time reverse our trim paths animation here. So I selected my layer here, hit U to bring up my keyframes. You can select them and time reverse them. Okay, so now that we have it set to alpha matte, we have just our tails here, right? We have just the accents coming in. So all we have to do is duplicate the text, make sure that it doesn't have a track matte, and now we have a copy of our text that isn't affected at all. So we basically want to hide the areas that this are on, right? So we can actually set this to alpha inverted. Okay, so we have the accent marks animating in, but of course they are just the shape of our shape layer. So what we actually need to do is cut this shape layer out using the pixels of our text layer. So if I solo my text layer, you can see that we basically want to reveal this part here. So let's take our shape layer here. So I'm soloing these so you can see it. And we basically just want to cut it out from the pixels underneath it. It's always a good idea to rename your layers to keep organized. So I'm just going to go ahead and rename all my layers here. This is going to be the reveal matte. If I solo it, you'll see that it is the reveal matte. And what we need to do is now punch the pixels out from where the text is, right? So we have these tapered edges here, right? So these obviously aren't tapered. So we just need to punch it out from the text underneath. So what we can do is put it under our text and set this to an alpha matte. Now we have the revealing matte, but it's also revealing the text layer. So it's not just the stroke paths that are on the reveal matte. If we left the reveal matte with just the paths that we drew, they would be basically square the whole time. But now that we're cutting it out from our text layer, it's taking on the shape from our text layer. All we need to do is now reveal it from the original text. So I'll duplicate my text here, bring it to the bottom, make sure that I don't have any masks, any keyframes, right? Because we just want it to be just the pure text. Looking good. And now we need to basically erase those tails and bring them back on. So all we have to do with this is set this to an alpha inverted matte. And you'll see it's kind of doing the opposite, right? So we just need to essentially flip this. So there's two things we have to do. First, we reverse our trim paths keyframes from our reveal matte. So I'll select my keyframes, right click, and time reverse. Okay, and then we also have to swap the vertexes on each of our paths here. So I'll show you what I mean here. If I come into my shapes, we'll start with the first one, shape 1. If I twirl this down and open my path here, you'll notice that my first vertex is over here. We actually want the opposite, right? So we'll just have to change this to our first vertex. Basically, the first vertex is defined when you create your path. So this was the first point I created, and then I created this point. So this was set as my first vertex. So now we just swap these by selecting this vertex here and setting first vertex under mask and shape path. And you'll see that it kind of screwed with our handles here, so I'll just reverse this. Okay, now you'll see we're getting what we're looking for. So we just have to do that same treatment with all of our paths, and then our effect is basically done. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have so far. So that's the basic idea. Like I said, there are a million ways to do this effect. There's another way of doing this, though I think that has limitations, using the stroke effect. If you look up stroke, it's under your generate category. You can basically, so what I'll do is I'll just pre-compose all this. We'll call this technique 1. Grab my text. Another approach to this would be using the stroke effect. If I bring this on and I create masks on our text layer, I'll just do this really quickly here, deselecting and reselecting so that I can create more than one mask here. What I can do with this stroke effect is I can set the paint style to reveal original image, and then we can animate the end from 0 to 100. So let's do that. And to 100. And we just need to define that we're using all the masks on the layer, and we need to uncheck stroke sequentially so that they all come in at the same time. If this was checked, you'll see that they come in one at a time, and that's not what we're going for. Okay, so uncheck that. Okay, we also need to bring the brush size up so it fills all of the pixels there. And of course we would have to update our mask. And then you'll see we have a similar effect here. Though in my opinion, you don't have as much control as if you make a custom track matte. Okay, so I hope that helps.